It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
I don't know, what was that horrible DC movie?
Shazam.
Which one?
Batman v Superman.
All of them?
Suicide Squad.
No, where they're
Wonder
all
Woman.
together.
Justice League.
Wonder
The
Woman.
Justice League on
Wonder
Spank
Woman?
Bang. Shout out Spank Bang. Thanks for the free week.
Spank bang.
Honestly, you probably could have got that movie for free from DC.
They're just handing it out.
I'll give you $5. Please take this movie.
They should release the Snyder Cut, though. That's supposed to be where it's
That's
at.
a hashtag.
That
Release
is
the
hashtag
Snyder
release
Cut.
the Snyder Cut. Hey, everybody, we want to say welcome
to another episode of ICBTB podcast.
My name is Alejandro,
And my name is Christian.
and we are the hosts
of this
evening.
podcast. If you guys are first-time listeners and you guys don't know what this thing is about, we are a podcast that defends bad movies.
And if you're a person who's been listening since the beginning, you got to hear it again.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around with us. I know we are very entertaining, and we are the two best buds that you know.
We're the two best friends
that
that anyone
everyone ever
can
has.
have. We're the
Two
two best friends that anyone can have. We don't own the rights to that song, just so you know.
Nope, that's Zach Galifianakis' song from The Hangover.
But it's the three best friends that anybody could ever have.
Yeah, because Otis is in the room.
Otis. Shut up, Otis.
Otis, you can keep talking.
Shut up, Otis.
Hey, you calm the fuck down.
Hi, Baddies. I know.
We
How you been?
finally turned his mic on for the whole episode, and this is how he's using it. Usually we keep it off until he has to say something.
Oh,
And
dude.
this is what I'm saying, dude.
Ever since we had that episode where the title was blah, 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 and Otis gets a mic, we've had some people come to us saying, why does Otis get a mic?
What do you mean? Do they not think he deserves one?
No, they think we bought him a mic that he gets to take home. They literally thought we bought him this expensive microphone.
No. He pays rent.
Yeah, he pays rent in kisses, so
Stop kissing him.
Mwah.
that's
That's a wet one.
$3.
A little
Heyo.
That was a slobber.
So we do movies here.
Yeah,
And by do movies, I mean we watch them
yeah, with our eyes,
in our ears
and we use our hearts
to feel compassion.
because that's what movies are about. It's about emotion and feeling emotion.
I've once heard that acting is just reacting.
I've once heard that acting is just reacting.
I don't know where you heard that from.
I'm just reacting to you, dude.
We watched a movie that's called
Arizona.
It's not about the state almost at all. It's more about the 2009 housing bubble crisis.
Really, it's very depressing.
It's
actually
incredible dark comedy. I've said this right before we recorded. I texted this to you, and I've been just shouting it to people I meet.
Yeah.
This is the type of movie why I wanted to do a podcast for.
Yeah, it's unknown. It's not.
It's unknown.
Underrated.
It's underrated. It's got people that everybody knows. It is a funny movie that does not get the credit that it
No,
deserves.
not at all. It's starring Danny McBride.
It is.
Yeah, Eastbound and Down.
If you don't know him, he's also known as Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, that is his name.
Luke Wilson's also in this movie.
Yeah, dude. David Alan Grier.
David Alan Grier.
Who's, if you don't know him, he was on the short-lived Chocolate News, which aired on Comedy Central for about 1 minute.
He was also in Living Color, wasn't he?
I think so. I'd believe that. I would for sure believe that. But yeah, this movie is crazy. And if you're looking for that type of movie where it's just a mixture of multiple genres, it's like a horror, a dark comedy.
For sure,
it's
dark comedy.
Suspenseful. It's kind of action-packed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was all for it, dude. I was watching this at like 2 a.m, and I thought I was going to fall asleep to it and like restart in the morning. Stayed up until like 4.
This movie, yeah, I watched this movie once not on accident, but I kind of stumbled upon it on HBO Go, and then I just watched it. And then when we were looking for movies to do, I was like, hey, you know what? I want to, because what had happened is I started it, I fell asleep, woke up at the end, and was like, what's
going on?
happening?
There's so much blood.
So I really wanted to see the whole movie and see how it progresses and stuff like that. Let's just jump into the nitty gritty for it then.
Yeah, itty bitty nitty gritty committee.
Itty bitty nitty bitty. This movie is called Arizona. It was released in 2018. I believe it's rated R, and it has a runtime of 1 hour 25 minutes. Or for Melissa, it's 85 minutes.
Every single time I tell you, she understands the conversion, dude.
And just in case she doesn't want to do the math, bro. I'm doing it for her.
Wow.
I'm doing it for her.
You are so nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Melissa.
so stick down your pipe and shove it, Melissa.
Hey, what the fuck, dude?
Easy there, Tiger.
Yeah, thank you, Otis. There at least some chivalry exists.
Yeah, not in this world. It has a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
Christian, what percentage of Google users approve of this film?
Otis, drum roll, please. There you go.
Don't say it now because he stopped.
All right, 82%.
That is too high. It is 75%.
Damn, that is low. That is a C average.
I think it's very underrated. Because I really think this movie is funny.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen's in this movie. Like this has got some.
Dude, apparently Seth Rogen did this film as a favor to Danny McBride.
I
So
believe
it's
it.
not. I
He's
don't think he
uncredited.
wanted to be.
He's uncredited.
He's not. Yeah, at the end, he's not in there.
So I think that means he did get paid for it.
Yeah, he was just in there. But his part was funny.
Synapses coming at you.
Right at you.
Real short one for you. Almost a log line more than a synopsis.
Really?
Casey is a single mother and a real estate agent whose problems go from bad to worse when a disgruntled client kidnaps her.
Yeah, that's about it. That kind of summarizes it without spoiling any of it. Because any further, then it would be wildly
You
spoiled.
can't really say much more because it doesn't really. There's really not much more to know.
Yeah. Well, let's just break it down. So, Casey's a realtor.
Yeah, so it's starring Danny McBride, Rosemarie DeWitt, Kaitlin Olson from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, she's
Luke
fantastic.
Wilson, and then David Alan Grier. Rosemarie DeWitt is playing a woman. She's playing Cassie.
She looks kind of good, dude.
She looks all right.
Like at that age, I'd be fine to have a wife of that physicality
No, she definitely made it work. I mean, she spends like the last 20 minutes topless, but
in a bra,
Yeah.
not topless. It's not top full, but it's not topless.
it's not full frontal, but she ain't wearing a
Mid-top.
shirt.
Yeah.
So she is a real estate agent in development or a city in Arizona, a small town in Arizona, that is like a bustling suburban neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
It's right after the housing crisis, so not a lot of people are buying houses. A lot of houses are being foreclosed, and this neighborhood that was supposed to be really nice and poppin' is not.
No.
I do want to ask you: have you ever been to a neighborhood like that? Have you ever been not one that's like boarded up like that, but like a suburban neighborhood in the middle of nowhere that you can tell like was built? Oh, Otis, you kind of live in a place like that.
What was your question again, Alex?
It's like a suburban place that's kind of like sequestered from other places. They clearly built these houses with the intention to make a suburban neighborhood around a golf course.
Yes.
Yeah, you live in a pretty, I would say, bougie neighborhood.
Whoa. Don't act like your house is some tin can here,
No,
Christian.
but in comparison, hey, you used to live in this neighborhood
This is
too,
hilarious.
dude.
Yeah, I was just gonna point that out.
If you're trying to use that as ammunition, man, you lived three houses down
Otis
from
went
me.
from a nice house to a nicer house.
Dude, and in your nicer house, you own all of upstairs.
And you have a wine fridge?
You have something called the loft.
Anyways, back to the question, Alex.
I guess my question was, have you ever been to a place like this? And it was more to Christian because you've been to a place like this.
I live in a place like that.
Christian, have you ever been to a place besides Otis's?
To a place beside Otis.
You ever been to a place besides Otis's place?
I only stay either in this home or Otis's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I've been to Arizona. Have you ever been to Arizona?
No, I've never been to Arizona.
Otis, you ever been to Arizona?
I've flown through Arizona.
Micayla, you ever been to Arizona?
Yes, I have.
Micayla Newsome's here today also.
Yeah, big round of applause for
Twice
Micayla
this
Newsome.
year.
Double tap.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I've been to like a neighborhood very similar to this in Arizona.
Tell me about it.
It's just, it wasn't boarded up like that at all, but it was very, you take a left turn, you take a left turn, you take a left turn, and you're like 4 turns deep in the middle of this labyrinth of homes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good way to put it. That
Thank
is
you.
a good way to put it. It really is like a labyrinth, and it's kind of depressing, dude.
They do kind of make that joke where they get lost trying to get out of the housing complex. They get lost when she gets. We'll get to it. Cassie. Cassie?
I can't even remember
Cassie.
now. But the main girl, yeah.
She is a real estate agent, and she goes to work one day, and she's just getting berated by her boss, who is an asshole.
Yeah, and her boss is played by Seth
Seth
Rogen.
Rogen.
And the funny thing about that situation is that she came to Arizona, specifically that neighborhood, with high hopes. And who was the real estate agent that sold her home?
Seth Rogen. And he promised her that the property value would go up, and this is a great neighborhood. Everything's moving, going.
Which is basically mirroring everything everything that she was telling her clients at the beginning of the movie.
Mirroring everything that everybody was told in 2007.
Dude, that first scene was crazy because she was trying to sell that house to the clients, right? And in the distance, she hears this scream. And like she was just saying,
It's a terrifying scream.
it's just kids playing. And the scream continues. And it's just like, oh, fuck, that's Samantha.
It's something else. And she realizes that there's and I think she thinks it's the woman in the house who's screaming, right? So she runs over to the next door neighbor's house. They go upstairs and one of the real estate agents is hanging himself because the housing bubble just popped.
Hey, but he ain't dead.
No, he's not. They rip him down. They rip the fan out of the ceiling. And
they're like, get him.
He's like, kill me. Kill me. That's like the opening scene. That is the opening scene. Is a guy
it cuts after that.
praying that he wants this woman to kill
The
him.
funny part about that is that when they rip him down from the ceiling fan, it rips the ceiling fan down
him right
and
in the face.
right in the face, and he has a bloody face. And he's like, kill me. And that sets the mood for the entire movie.
Yeah, you guys, I know it doesn't sound funny, but it is. So Seth Rogen is an asshole and
100%, which was crazy because Seth Rogen is not usually that big of a douche.
plays a good douche.
Yeah, he plays a good douche, but this guy was just 100% dick.
Casey gets a call from the bank, and so she's distracted by a phone call when one of the clients comes in, Danny McBride, with bleached blonde hair.
Danny McBride looking like a Justin Timberlake.
A visor.
A visor. This
He
dick.
walks in and he's pissed at Seth Rogen. He's yelling at Seth Rogen, and Casey excuses herself so she can finish her phone call in private. And as she's on this phone call, you hear Seth Rogen and Danny McBride having a scuffle. They're fighting each other, and then the fight spills outside, and then Danny McBride pushes Seth Rogen over a ledge, and Seth Rogen slams into a car and dies.
Yeah, and then so Casey sees this entire thing. She's freaking out. She's on the phone still. She hangs up.
Danny McBride turns around and sees her.
And she's like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. Danny McBride comes up to her and says, it was an accident. It was an accident.
He goes, hey, I don't know what you saw over there, but what you saw was self-defense.
It was self-defense. He was pushing me first. He started it.
He hits her in the head. He's like, all right, we'll call the police. She's like,
He hits her in the head with a
phone.
Yeah, like a landline phone.
Because she's like, we should call the police. He's like, all right, I'll call the police. And then he picks up the phone. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm a good person. And then knocks her out with the phone.
Which is crazy. And then she just wakes up.
In his house.
Yes.
Well, okay, in a house. And she's confronted by a masked person.
Yes.
And the mask is just a zip-up hoodie put on backwards with eye hole and a mouth hole cut out. And he's got the hood on. And he's talking to her, and as he's like telling her, hey, I don't know what you saw back there, but we're gonna work this out, his golden lab hops up on the couch and puts his head on her lap. He's like, oh, Lou's really taking a liking to you, and he's petting
really
his
likes
dog.
you.
And he goes, hey, you want to take a tour of my house?
Yeah. First of all, this is all crazy because she already knows what he looks like.
Yeah, she knows it's a client. She knows that he murdered Seth Rogen.
Yeah, but he's taking this opportunity when he kidnapped her into her house. He's like, okay, let's, this is my in-home gym.
So here's the line. So when he pushes Seth Rogen over, he's like, hey, I didn't know what was going to happen. Whatever Seth Rogen's character's name is, he's like, he went and fell, and I thought he'd catch himself, but nope, he didn't. And it was gross.
Yeah, it just like pans out. You see Seth Rogen on the floor, blood. This is a gruesome movie.
Very violent.
Yeah.
So he takes her on a tour of the house, and it's interesting because you can tell that Danny McBride, he's telling her, hey, I just went through a divorce. He goes, this is my gym. It used to be my wife's office. He's like, I'm going to get buff as fuck, though.
He is so confident in his home.
I'm going to make her so jealous. And then he takes her outside, and he's like, this is going to be where I'm going to put the pool. I'm thinking of putting a real sexy swim-up bar right here.
Yeah, it's going to be real sexy. This is supposed to be a ninth hole.
No, but they didn't finish the golf course. I think it's a breach of contract, but they said it wasn't in the contract, so whatever. Danny McBride has the best lines.
So funny. Did he wrote this, I believe, or he produced it at the very least?
He helped produce it, but I don't think he wrote part of it. Then he takes her to. Says one of my favorite lines. He goes, "I got this staircase added because it reminds me of the one from Different Strokes." And it does look like the staircase from Different Strokes.
He was like, you ever seen that?
It's exactly the staircase from Different Strokes. Then he takes it to a bookshelf, and there's family photos. He's like, these are my kids.
These are my two kids.
That's my first ex-wife, and that's me.
Yeah.
And it's just a photo of him. And then he looks at her and he goes,
I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to remove my mask right now. I trust you. I trust you now. And he removes his mask. You see it's Danny McBride. And then immediately afterwards, he like does something to the shelf.
No, he goes, you want to see something cool? She goes, yeah. And he pulls a book down, and then the bookshelf opens up, hella guns. He's got like 2 Glocks. He's got a 40 cal.
guy's
He's got
stacked.
revolvers. He's got hella fun because it's Arizona and you get cool guns in Arizona.
Jeez, yeah.
Gotta love red states for cool guns, bro. God, I hate California.
You could go to Arizona, man.
I'm not a fan of conservatives. The thing that I really liked about this movie was his like quick little lines that he has that he just kind of throws away and doesn't really think about it, right?
No.
So at one point he ties Casey to a chair, and he has a knife in his hand.
Yes.
And she's like trying to fight him off. He's like, stop. He goes, this is a Ginsu knife from Kohl's. It'll cut you through like a piece of fucking jerky.
It'll cut through your bone like butter.
It'll cut to your bone like butter. And then he's trying to tape her, and she kicks the knife. He's like, stop, Casey, stop, just stop, okay? He goes, the dog's barking at him. He's like, fuck. He goes, I'm gonna have to take him for a walk so he can take a shit. Otherwise, he's not gonna stop barking, and I don't want to hear this all night.
Yes, and as he takes his dog out for a walk, he's golfing at the same time.
Yeah, well, he takes a tennis ball, which is actually a really good way to get your dog's energy out, especially Golden Labs. Gonna have a lot of energy. You gotta tire that fucker
that looked
out.
like a good dog.
So you put the tennis ball on the tee. You get the. Although I did notice he was using a driver and only hit that tennis ball about 50 yards. And if he's only getting a tennis ball 50 yards, Otis, let him know.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's flexing like he is a golf pro.
I'll tell you what he does really well with that golf club. Smacks his ex-wife in the back of the head.
Dude,
with
that's right. And his ex-wife is played by
Kaitlin Olson.
Yep, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
She plays Dee Reynolds, and she still looks like a bird.
I like her. I think she looks good. Her comedy
She's
is
not an
probably what
ugly
makes
woman.
me-
She looks like a bird.
No, she's down. She's down. I'm sorry. I'm down.
Does not look like a bird.
No, yeah, she does.
Dee looks
not.
like a bird.
What kind of bird?
I don't know, a bird. I don't know.
A bird.
Speaking of which,
Is the state bird of Arizona.
really?
A bird.
Bird.
Because I can't name him. Fun fact, this is actually the anniversary of the Great Emu War of Australia. You guys can Google that.
Google me, bitch.
That's from a different movie.
I'm gonna make it my tagline. It's really fun. I'm gonna say that to my mom downstairs.
I want to say, please do it before I leave today.
I will say it. Dude, my mom's been kind of chill. What's
Do
up?
not make your mom cry, okay?
Dude, I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
don't say bitch. Don't add bitch. Just tell your mom to Google you.
Let me talk about this. My mom's been like, I've been kind of, because when I was growing up in high school, I could not even say the word damn. She'd be like, Christian, don't curse in this house. And now that I'm getting older, and now she's like letting me like have alcohol in the house and whatnot, and like I'm trying to like just shoo in like curse words here and there.
Hell,
so like,
damn.
Yeah, hell, damn. I can say shit now.
Oh, shit's like the next step.
I could
Shit's
start
in
to
PG
say
movies.
Yeah. You get like one or two.
So,
right?
so if your mom was the MPAA, she's now PG or PG-13?
No, she's
A solid PG. She's like
R, dude.
Really?
I can say
Triple
fuck now.
X rated.
I could say 3 fucks around her, and she'll be like,
Christian, enough.
Christian, no F.
My
she's fine with
mom's
it.
kind of done the same thing with me and my brother because my parents don't curse, like cursing occasionally. And we were on a Disneyland trip, and my mom goes, "Okay, I understand you guys are older, and if something happens and you say a curse word, as long as it's not like one of like the really bad ones, like the F word or like the SH word, you guys can. I get you're older. I'm just gonna have to get over it." And
Wow.
later we were eating bread, and like the butts of the bread.
Yeah.
My mom was like trying to fit in, being like, yeah, if you say stuff. She goes, oh, yeah, my favorite part, the ass bread. And we were
Whoa.
like, what?
I would have loved if your
and
mom was
so-
like added whole. The asshole bread.
And so now the butts of the bread are ass bread, or if
Wow.
you say ass in my
Yeah,
house,
we
it's
call it the butt.
She's
ass
a
bread.
rebel.
Yeah.
My mom
she
was.
loves a good cuss.
My mom didn't like. She loves a good cuss. My mom didn't like me swearing when I was growing up, but then it kind of was okay. At one point, I used to swear quite a bit more than I normally do. And then
That's a lot.
yeah. Well, you remember like when I first turned 18 and 19, I was
bit.
into like shock.
Yeah, you.
I was really into shock.
Shock.
So I would just like shock people, you know what I mean? Just really get a lot of.
You were the
wool
shocker.
socks. Yeah. Fuck you, Spider-Man. Bzz. And that's a deep cut for Marvel fans. And then my mom kind of just like got over it. And then actually, weirdly enough, a couple years ago, my dad started being like, not liking the way I speak anymore. And then I started this podcast, and it's just out the window.
It's gone at this point. Melissa's family listens to this podcast, and they haven't said anything. They're kind of
I'm really
for it.
shocked at some of the things that go unsaid, and the things that my mom does bring up, like the things that my mom has a bone to pick with us. I'm always like, oh, okay. I thought it was going to be this other joke, but yeah, okay, sure.
Hey, but no, I'm all for it. I'm all for minimizing how much we censor ourselves. I mean, if we're aspiring comedians, it's all about saying what's on our minds, and it is kind of our jobs to speak freely.
I do want to say, if we can get back to the movie,
Absolutely.
when Dee Reynolds comes in and she treats Danny McBride like dog shit.
She's terrible.
She's so fucked up to him, like the way she speaks to him, and you can kind of see Casey kind of sees it. We're saying her name different every single time, huh?
Casey, something.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. She sees it, and you can kind of see like why he's so frustrated with this ex-wife.
Yeah.
He does end up killing her with a brick in one blow.
Yeah,
Hits her with one blow, and
because it's straight to the face. It's not even coming from the side. It's straight to the face.
Straight down.
And do you remember
12
what
to
her
6.
face looked like after the brick blow?
yeah, messed up.
Her eye was kind of sunken in, just one of them, and it was like
almost
looking in the other
when,
direction.
Homeboy got his face beat in by Negan.
Oh, and Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'm not even gonna spoil it. People
It
might
was
still be
Rick.
watching. It was Carl's little sister.
Yeah, you kind of got really close to a spoiler.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Although if you haven't seen The Walking Dead and you're listening to this podcast,
Save yourself. It gets real boring after season 7.
it does. I'm over it.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the movie.
Real quick, sidebar.
What's up?
Do you remember watching the first episode of The Walking Dead?
Crazy.
Do you remember why we watched it together, dude? In the doll room at
Darius
improv practice.
showed it to us.
Yes.
He was like, "There's this new
You
zombie
guys
movie."
gotta watch it, and we were all like, mm-hmm.
Okay, we're down for it. That's insane.
I just blew your mind, and I'm sorry to jump
we
back
watched
into
the first episode of The Walking Dead together. That is a testament to how long we've been friends.
It's gross. One of my favorite lines that Danny McBride says is when he's using duct tape to tie her to the chair. He's like, "Why is duct tape so sticky?"
What else are you gonna fucking use?
He's like,
Danny
"It's
McBride?
so hard to rip." Like,
Danny McBride's a weird.
he says some
character.
great. I think this is the best Joker movie I've ever seen. Danny McBride is the Joker.
in
Like,
a way.
His weird, chaotic, like, because you can almost see why he's doing these things, but his like reaction and why he like, you can see when Cassie says stuff to him and he realizes like what's been a lie, and like it clicks in his brain a couple of times that Cassie's been lying to him, and he like calls her out on it. And like watching a crazy psychopath who you've just watched murder 2 people in front of you realize that you're lying is one of the most frightening things I've ever seen.
It was terrifying. I thought it was going to be a joke because
Yeah, when she's like, she says like, "Oh, I have a daughter back home," and then he looks at her, he's like, "Man, I really hope you weren't lying to me about the daughter." And she's like, "No, I don't have a daughter." And then he like looks at her and he's like,
you're fucking
"You're lying to me." He like stops
It is
all
terrifying.
It is so good.
It is. There is a crazy beat change a little bit before that, before his ex-wife comes into the house, where he is about to let Cassie go.
Yeah, he cuts. Yeah. Oh my God, he's about to cut the tape, right, so she can get out.
What was that?
I said both of them.
Both of
Casey
them.
and Cassie.
It sounds like we're talking about 2 different chicks at this point. But
You
yeah,
guys know what we say.
it's insane because he's starting to believe her. He's like, "Okay, Cassie, I'm going to trust you."
Because they start to build a relationship, and she's like, "I can help you sell this house. I can help you." And
because they're in the same situation where they're both what is the term for it? Like under the water.
they're both underwater,
Yeah.
which means that they owe more on the house than it's worth.
They were lied to by their realtor.
They both just got a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
They're both living in the same kind of neighborhood and have a kid that they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Right. So he realizes they have all these connections, and he goes to cut the tape from her wrist so she can go free.
And he notices a wedding ring.
And he says, "Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you were married." He's like, "Your husband's definitely gonna be asking questions." And she goes,
Oh no, I'm not married anymore. I just wear it so that I could sell my houses easier to my clients because she's a real estate agent.
and he pulls the scissors back and he goes, "Do they like give you a seminar on how to like mislead people?
Yeah,
how to
you're
lie to people?" He's
fucking
like,
lying
"You're
to me."
You're no better than Seth Rogen."
Boom, and then knocks her out too. This movie is suspenseful, scary, and funny.
So now he's killed his ex-wife and realizes that Casey has a daughter and that her daughter's at home.
Sidebar, can I talk about how much I hate
daughter's
this
such a
daughter?
bitch.
She is saying like, "I've gained 14 pounds this summer," and she's trying to do fucking Tai Bo in the living room or something,
lackluster.
and she's not doing anything. She's like flicking her wrists.
And she's constantly, and when they're, spoilers, not to jump to the end, when they're running away from Danny McBride, she like falls and stuff, and she's constantly like, "Oh, my knees.
my ankle. I
want
can't
Dad.
move. I want Dad."
And even Cassie at one point is like, "What's he going to do for you?"
What is he going to do for you
What's he
in
gonna
this
do for
moment? You are running for your life right
Yeah.
now. This girl is complaining that she rolled her ankle and that she cannot move and that she wants dad. Once she hears Danny McBride's voice, what does she do? She gets up and she moves. This girl was lying, even in a moment as pivotal as a life or death situation for her and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking girl is complaining.
Always complaining. So Danny McBride goes to the house to kidnap her too because he realizes he can't have a loose end.
Yep.
And my favorite part is when they're driving back to his house. He's got her tied up, sitting on the floor of the car with a bag over her head. And she's like talking shit. She's like, "Who the fuck even are you?" And he hits her right in the face.
Yes.
And he's like,
I'm so sorry.
You know,
I have
I'm
kids.
sorry. I have kids of my own. That was
mean.
really mean. I'm sorry.
mean.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to hit you.
She's wearing like a burger bag. Yeah.
He has like some of the best lines, honestly.
It was very odd. Danny McBride at times is very stupid, but at times is very smart in this film, in the position that he's in.
Then he gets back to the house.
Yes.
And he has the daughter and Cassie, and he goes, "Cassie, you lied to me again." He goes, "You told me that my house is nicer than yours. I was just in your house. Ceramic Italian tiles? Do you know how expensive that is?"
This guy's really into his houses, into like
knows
interior design.
how much these model houses are worth. I do also, I don't remember what this quote is from. Maybe you can fill me in.
Yes.
But the quote is, "I was such a handsome boy."
I think that was Danny McBride.
Yeah, but I can't remember the context. I just
don't
wrote
remember
that.
No, I don't remember that at all. But he was saying that a bunch.
Yeah, I have this note here that says, "Fuck the daughter, she's a fat fuck bitch."
Wow, that's very specific.
Because by the end of this movie,
But I agree.
I really did not like the daughter.
I
dude.
did not. She was.
So he has them all. She does actually escape at one point. Cassie does escape, and she gets to she calls the police, and David Alan Grier is the sheriff on duty, ends up being the only sheriff in town. And so they're trying to find the house. And of course, because it's a tract home, every third house looks the same. They can't find, or they're having difficulty finding the house. And she goes, "No, this is the house. This is it." They go into the house. As soon as the door opens, someone sprays David Alan Grier with pepper spray. Then he turns and shoots that person
Blindly in the head.
And he's like, "Who did I shoot?
Who did I shoot?
Who did I shoot? Who did I shoot?
Who did I shoot?"
Casey comes in. She's like, "Oh shit, this isn't the house." He's
Yep.
like, "This isn't the house." Before we can even comprehend what's going on, David Alan Grier's head explodes.
Yup.
Danny McBride standing there with a big ass
Revolver,
40 cal revolver with a long extendo fucking 12-inch barrel.
Dude, these headshots remind me of like in Red Dead Redemption, and we're
Yeah.
always gonna bring up Red Dead Redemption. If you're
Blowing
shooting
heads off.
someone in the head 5 or 6 times, the skull shatters and it breaks. Every single death in this movie is like that kill.
I do want to say every single death in this movie that Danny McBride does is like a fucked up kill, except for, and this is going to be really controversial, the dog. When he shoots that dog,
That's
is
right,
maybe the only justified kill. And I hate that I have to say that, but that dog was viciously attacking him, and that dog was probably going to kill him. That is maybe the only true act of self-defense in the whole movie.
But that's the dog's purpose. The dog probably was able to sense that this is a hostile
the bad guy,
character.
for sure,
This
for
dog
sure.
must have witnessed that.
Danny
Danny
McBride is covered in blood.
He's covered in blood from the dog's owner. So at that point, the dog is doing his job and is just defending or getting revenge on Danny McBride. So I don't think it's justified at all. Listeners, we do have to preface, a dog does die in this movie.
But you don't see.
You don't see it.
It's fine. When Danny's chasing Cassandra, and her daughter.
Guys, just stick to one name. One name.
CC.
CC.
We're going to
A whole
CC for the rest
different
of
name than we've said the whole time. So when CC and her daughter are running, at one point they're hiding in the sewer, and Danny McBride is like gonna like head him off at the end of the sewer, and like there's this really well done tense moment of where you're with CC and her daughter looking out of the tunnel, and then the camera cuts to Danny McBride looking into the tunnel.
It's crazy.
And you know they're gonna have to meet eventually, and so they finally go out of the tunnel, and Danny McBride's actually like 100 yards down at a different hole on his phone.
Playing a golf game.
And I just think it's hilarious that he's distracted by such a trivial
This
little
is what I'm
phone
talking
game.
about. He is, in moments he is so dumb, but in moments he is so smart. He was able
he's
to
the Joker, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He is the Joker.
He was able to predict that they were in the sewer line. He was like knocking on it, and he kind of like knew that they were in there.
gonna get you.
Even when he was going to kidnap Cece's daughter, he goes up to the door. And he's so dumb. He has Cece's phone in his pocket, and it rings because the daughter's kind of smart and calls the mom.
What makes us kind of think he's almost smart for a minute is he knocks on the door and Cassie kind of opens it halfway and he's like, hey, your mom just got in an accident.
Yep.
She sent me down here to come pick you up. And Cassie's like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, it's been bad, you got to come with me. And she's like, hang on. She starts calling her mom. And that's when we find out he has the phone in his pocket.
And he comes up with bullshit reasons as to why he has her phone. But what was smart is when he actually gets inside, he knew immediately that she was going to call the cops, right?
Yeah,
And so
so-
he picks up the landline.
Opens the line. And so when she dials it, he pretends to be the dispatcher. But again, that is shadowed by his stupidity. Because to
Yeah.
get into the house, he smashes a window to unlock the doors,
Yep.
to open the front door and walk through the front door
This
still.
freaking guy. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, you applaud him at some moments, like, okay, that was a smart move, but then you kind of just want to smack him up the head.
I almost don't want to spoil too much of the end because I do really want people to watch this movie. And so I don't want to get too far into what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with leaving this episode a little bit of a secret for our friends and our family?
Otis, Micayla, you guys going to be butthurt if we leave it open-ended?
Because you guys haven't seen this movie.
No, because now I want to watch it.
Yes, that is our goal as
I'm
podcasters.
very intrigued to watch
Yeah,
this movie. But
Arizona's
don't ever
where-
use butthurt towards me again.
Why can't I use... Oh,
Because he got really butthurt once when...
Our butts feel
Never
fine.
mind, forget about it.
Otis is the butthurt boy.
hey, baddies, don't do that. Baddies.
Otis, the guilt trip king.
Otis, the butthurt boy, BHB.
Dude, my best impersonation of Otis. Hey, I don't fucking care, man. I don't even fucking care,
I
man.
don't even fucking care.
Man, fuck me, right? But I don't fucking care, man.
Fuck you. And
Hang
fuck
on.
you.
Fuck you.
This is my Otis impression.
This is
You
my...
guys don't even do it right. It's
That's exactly what I did.
Wow, that was... I mean, his was pretty...
Thank you for this ASMR segment.
It sounds like a Pepsi
We're
commercial.
starting also a ASMR channel and a mukbang channel. So check us
Bang.
out.
I will eat a lot of...
Poo poo.
That's...
You
I
just
would not.
eat and whisper the entire episode.
This is Cheetos. Christian, do you have a BPS?
Ooh, this one's good. All right, this one's hard for me. Can you go first?
Okay, yeah. Also, sidebar: is it BPS or BPOS? Best person on set.
No, I don't care about the,
I think
the
three-letter
two-letter word.
acronyms make better than four-letter acronyms.
Yeah, BPS is what I'm going to stick with.
Although if we can make it BPOS,
BPOS, that could stand for something completely different.
be possibly something different.
Hey.
So my best person on set award is this is our show.
This is our
We
podcast.
make the rules. We make the rules. So my best person on set award is Danny McBride.
Yo, I knew it.
How can it not be?
Yeah.
Also, there is another big name actor in this movie who I don't think we mentioned aside from the casting list.
Luke Wilson, dude.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Well, we won't say too much more. But Danny McBride is my best person on set award, acting up a storm. Every single line that he says is a joke or is a setup of a joke.
It's crazy. I think it is so talented of him to simultaneously be funny, hilarious,
and
terrifying.
I'm telling you, a Joker-esque character. Like
Absolutely.
This is a different version of like the chaotic evil of Danny McBride's character in this movie.
Of all of the movies, and he's always a villain in every single movie. This is the end, 30 minutes or less. He's always playing this kind of a dick character that
Vice
will go.
Principals, Eastbound and Down.
He will go to the ends of the earth to
Pineapple
get
Express.
revenge. Pineapple Express, but
should've
in
played
this
our
one,
favorite game.
this is. I know we could have, but what?
I think that's all of them.
Keep going.
Oh, keep going.
I can think of one other one.
Hit us.
Hit us.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the.
All right, okay. No. Don't bring it up anymore. We're saving that.
Dude, but for him to be, this movie really fleshed out his character. You were able to from a surface level, you might be able to be thinking, why the fuck is he killing all these people? But if you really analyze his
You
situation,
can justify all of his. Well, no, you can't. All of his murders are bad, but you can see why he did those
There's
things
logic.
and what led to his reasoning. I think another really crazy point about this movie is if you are a fan of true crime and serial killers and things like that, some of the traits that he portrays are very serial killer-esque.
Yes.
The wanting to make himself better and trying to do a different thing, but keeps getting caught up in this stuff. And then all of a sudden you're caught up in this like rigmarole of the murder, and you're so caught up in wanting to get away with it and stuff, thinking you're so smart. I think there is a lot to a serial killer because he kills 1, 2, 3,
8, including the dog.
spoilers, 8 different people in this movie.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
he is a legitimate serial killer.
Yeah. And it's
A mass murderer. I think
so
8 is mass
fleshed
murderer.
out. That at that point, because there is a part in the movie where he says it can't get any worse than this.
Yeah, he's
so
on.
it's 2 more
he's like,
people.
honestly, yeah. Christian, do you have a best person on set award?
It's gonna have to go to Danny McBride. I was trying to think deeper if anyone else deserves it, but like he is the star of the movie.
The Cassie CC.
Yeah, my girl.
Also a really great actress. She really holds it down. But I think the reason why I don't give her best person on set award is because she is playing the straight man. She's playing a very baseline character, a very grounded in reality character.
Yeah.
And Danny McBride's boldness and bigness just really was doing a lot.
He was. He was, and I don't think that he just read the script and did the Danny McBride thing without really analyzing how he should have done it. There was definitely a strategy behind playing this character.
I think there's more to his character in the serial killer aspect than we are giving it credit for.
Yeah. Before we sign off, I want to try one thing out.
Yeah.
I have a new segment for us.
Oh shit.
It's called Hate the Haters, biatch.
Oh, I don't know what's about to happen.
So I'm going to go to Rotten Tomatoes because Rotten Tomatoes is usually the score that we base our movies off of if it's low enough.
And when you're looking up movies and you're trying to find the ratings for things, the 3 biggest ones that you'll find are usually Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and then Metacritic or Common Sense Media tend to be the most popular ones for us. Those are definitely the ones that we use the most.
So in this segment, we are going to read one Rotten Tomato critic review, a bad one, and we are going to shit on that hater because you know what? Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters.
Hey, if you a hater out there, fuck you.
If you're Nick Cannon and you're hating on Eminem, fuck you.
If you're Nick Cannon and you think Wild and Out is good improv, fuck you.
If you're Nick Cannon, fuck you.
If you're Nick Cannon and you fucked up Mariah Carey's life, fuck you.
Yeah, you ruined her by giving her twins, bro. She was so pretty before those twins.
Dude.
Not that babies make people ugly, but like Mariah Carey, not as hot as she was about 7 years ago. And I know I'm being an asshole, man.
Let's continue being an asshole. Both you and I were in Drumline at some point in our life, and he did that movie called Drumline.
And you drummed garbage, bro. I was like, that's like 8 and 8, bro. You ain't even doing
the fuck?
shit.
You ain't doing 8 and 8. Correct. Dude, look at
You
your
ain't
stick
getting
height,
line
bitch.
1. Oh my god.
God, I'm walking here.
So that has been a segment of our new play called How Did Nick Cannon Become the Sundance Kid?
All right, here we go.
Go.
So
Read it in its entirety.
it'll be a short one. A film that's neither funny nor exciting, although it often seems to be straining to be one or the other. So
It is both funny and exciting. Just like we established, this movie has some really good chills. Like there are some turns, and so if you really think about it, if you believe it, if you're just like in the movie, because of course it's a silly thing. Like it takes place within
silly,
4
dude.
walls of a
fucking
housing
Danny
complex.
McBride, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that it'll be a surprising element that Danny McBride could be
I was gonna say go in expecting bad Danny McBride because you're gonna see great D McBride
acting from D McBride.
Yeah,
dude.
for sure.
Yeah, if you want multiple genres in one movie, this'll be similar to that of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but without it being that bonkers because this is still somewhat grounded in reality. That's right. You seen that movie? That movie's insane. That movie's great. I've kind of wished that it had bad reviews, but it has pretty good reviews, so we can't do that. But anything else, dude?
I love this movie. I'm so happy we got to do it. This is exactly why I wanted to do a podcast.
Dude, thanks for bringing this movie
like Arizona.
up. Yop.
Yop.
Thought you wanted to do a podcast to hang out with friends, but
hey, dude, we get to hang out. You and Micayla are sitting in this room with us, hanging out.
Otis, we're gonna have to talk about your role a little bit later off mic because you have talked far too much in this episode.
Not
King
enough.
Fact Checker got himself a mic.
Ayo. All right, you can follow me
it's-
at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow me at call_me Jesus.
Y'all want to plug yourselves over there?
But then also say what your handles are on Instagram and stuff like that.
Go check out my IG page for photos. It's pics_by_OP.
You haven't changed it to photos by Otos?
You can also hashtag photos by
Dude,
Otos.
let's make that a hashtag.
That is a hashtag photos by Otos.
Hashtag photos by Otos.
And I am Mickey G, Mickey like the mouse, G like the letter, and 3 E's just because.
That's
Just
gangster.
because, guys.
That's gangster.
I would like to leave it on a serious note and let everybody know that I'm thankful.
It's not Thanksgiving anymore, but I am
wait,
also
it's not
thankful.
Oh, okay, then I take it back.
I'm not
Nah,
thankful.
forget about it. I
Yeah.
am unthankful.
Follow the podcast at ICBTB
That's not recording.
Podcast.
That camera's not on anymore.
I'm pointing at nothing then. Follow the podcast at ICBTB Podcast. If you're not following it already, what the fuck are you doing?
But also just follow us, dude. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. Hit the button.
Yep. Farm and Flower sponsor us. Bye.
Or bang. You guys have more money.